Oh, yes. Hello, my beautiful friends. What a Saturday it is. I'm so glad that you're joining us here for this live stream. We got some very interesting energy out there after the RFK endorsement of President Trump and that MAGA rally here in Arizona. Your boy tried to get over there, tried to get inside, but, well, we'll tell you what happened there. I've got some news I want to run through today because the knives are out for RFK Jr. Bunch of lefties are saying that this guy's just a real piece of work. They don't like him anymore all of a sudden. And you'd expect that because they're very upset and bitter that he's endorsing Trump, unifying the two sides against the evil Kamala communist team. So we'll talk through that. We've got some good updates, a lot of reaction, want to poke around. We'll do a little bit of a recap on what happened yesterday because I was there. I posted a video about that. If you missed it, it was a fun one. And so I'll explain what happened and my thoughts about all that. Then we'll talk about RFK and his speech last night. I do have a short clip, one or two of them, because it was just so epic. The energy feels like it has shifted pretty dramatically. We came out of the cackling Kamala, although there was very few cackles on the DNC agenda. But we came out of that. They were expecting this big energetic bounce, and boom, RFK Jr. came out with the perfect timing, creme de la creme, and really made it hurt for the left. So we'll go through all that. Then we've got some Kamala reaction and updates because she was out getting on an airplane. People are wondering what they're going to be doing about this. Does this matter to them? Are the polls going to shift? And I do think it's consequential. So we'll look at some of the reaction and get some other updates on some fallout from the DNC. And today, of course, is the anniversary of something very important that we'll remind ourselves about. So we'll talk about that. Now, first and foremost, as the tubes warm up all across the fruited plain of the interwebs on this live Saturday, we want to start with a very, very warm welcome to our RFK friends. And so we just want to say, welcome aboard, brother, to the team. We're happy to have you. This was a fun meme that came out over from Gator Gar. Good follow over on X. And so that's kind of what it felt like yesterday. America coming together for the sake of the country to save her against communist comrade Kamala. So welcome aboard to our Kennedy friends. Very glad to have you. We appreciate what RFK Jr. has done. And I think it's going to go down in history, perhaps as a turning point in American political dynamics. This was the cover from the New York Post. Quite an epic one. You can see here. Just when you thought you'd seen it all, a Kennedy endorses a Republican. It's pretty dang historic. It is, right? It's pretty damn wow. Okay, RFK, the son of a Democratic senator, nephew of a Democratic president, dropped his long shot bid for the presidency and endorsed Donald Trump, saying the Democrats have departed dramatically from the core values that I grew up with. And we made this point here many times before, but what RFK Jr. is doing here is confirming all of our biggest concerns that we've been screaming about here, saying that Trump has been the victim of lawfare. Trump has been the victim of unfair politics. They were rigging elections against Trump, doing everything they can to stop him. They were creating cases and creating crimes out of nowhere. They were sabotaging things. Okay, they have bad actors inside the campaign who are trying to create crimes. RFK and his VP, Shanahan, confirming it all. They're anti-free speech. They're pro-war. They're pro-big pharma. They're pro-big corporations that are in bed with the government. And Trump has been vindicated. Trump has been proven right. And this comes from somebody who's not a MAGA extremist, to use their vernacular, right? It's RFK, for crying out loud. So it makes the Trump complaints against the rigged system that much more credible. And I don't think there is anybody better who could have given him this legitimacy better than RFK Jr. I don't think there's anybody else who could have done it. And he came out and shook that hand, baby, and there were sparks flying last night in the air. And the energy was just absolutely insane. Now, we remember that Kamala was there not long ago at the same venue. And here's what it looked like when they were there. And we covered this at the time. And they basically blacked out that entire row with curtains and said that it was a full house. Everybody loves Kamala, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now let me show you what the scene looked like inside the building. Unfortunately, I was not in it. But you can see they didn't need to curtain off that upper ring. Okay, shout out to Charlie Kirk and those Turning Point fellows over there. They put on a hell of a show. And you can see it was absolutely jammed, my friends. And I know firsthand because I was outside. I could not get in. This was some of the scene from the video I posted yesterday. And it is me outside. I got there, I'd say right about 1-ish, 1 o'clock. And Trump was not scheduled to speak till 4, right? So I was expecting, okay, I'll wait in line for 2 hours. Get in there around 3. Bad idea. Not going to happen. Now, I'm really disappointed I couldn't get in, obviously. It was a historic night. But I was also very happy that I went because you can see it. You can feel it, man. There's something wild going on. So let me just give you a quick and dirty rundown of what was happening. So I was going through here and I had already been walking. Okay. By the way, by the time I started recording this video, I had been walking for probably 15 minutes from the opposite side, way that direction. It was madness, right? So I finally find a spot to park. I'm thinking, okay, cool. We'll just go walk in. I'm walking and walking and walking. And now I start to think we're not going to get in. Like there's way too many people. And something interesting happened. As I was walking here, I ran into another guy who was just like jumping out of an Uber. Okay, so I'm walking over here. This guy jumps out of an Uber. It's kind of like a funny thing. Like cops like, get out of here. And he's like, ah. So he like jumps out. He's like, ugh. So he came out, right? We're kind of walking together before I get to this point. And he brings this big cooler of stuff. And he's like, man, it's like crazy out here. I said, yeah, this is crazy. What's up? He says, I had to go make a water run. And so oh, okay, like for water. So he's getting, cooler. Like he brought this big cooler of stuff. He says, yeah, my dad's been out here since 11 and it's about 1 o'clock. So it's been 2 hours and it's 107 degrees out. It's a little more humid than we're used to here. So it's actually quite hot out. And I go, oh man, he's been out here since 11:30. He said, is he like in or where is he at? He says, no, he's like way up here. Right. I said, oh man, well, how old's your dad? He goes, he's 75. I go, 75? He's been out here for 2 hours, man? Man, shout out to our senior citizens. Holy moly. So that dude's 75, right? Son runs home, gets him some water, comes back in. I'm pretty sure those people didn't make it in because they were still all the way back. Okay, so they'd been there for about 2 hours just waiting to get in because there's that many people. And I don't think you can fault anybody for this. There was just that many people. I don't think they had any idea this was going to be happening. It was insane. So we then are walking down this path for quite a while and I basically drop him off, he bails out and he's got all this water there and we're there probably right about where I start the camera. So then I think, okay, like, let me see where this line ends. Holy moly. Let me take a look. So I start the camera and I've already been walking for maybe 10, 15 minutes at this time. So you can see I turn this corner. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, the line just keeps going. So we fast forward all the way down. You can see this is actually the arena where they were going to be in. The line, so it wraps all the way around. Now, if you just follow this line all the way past the corner, then it goes into another building. I'll show you that building, like it's a holding center. And so we just kept walking and we were out there. Now the line started to snake around. Okay, so the line's coming this way and then it snaked around again. snaked back around. Okay, so I'm walking and it turns around. You can see it. So here, let's see. Okay, so now we get to the end and it snakes all the way back around. Now I have to turn around and I'm walking back the other direction. So I'm filming 2 rows of lines and then something happens, man. Something happens. I think right about here, this guy comes in and he says the line. So I'm here. Let's check it. Let's listen and we'll see what happens here.
It had $16.
All right. It was crazy. So then they're clearing it out. What? They cleared it. So they cleared the whole thing out, and I walked basically back over here, and now the lines are just evaporating in real time. So we got to say what's up to these guys. These guys drove all the way up from Sororita in Arizona.
What's up, guys? Where are you guys from?
We're from Sarita.
Sarita? Yes.
We just learned that they're at max capacity, so we have to go back.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
It's disappointing.
Yeah, I just got mine, and they just cleared it out.
Yeah, I seen your YouTube channel.
You do?
You're a lawyer,
What's up?
right?
Yeah, I'm Rob.
I'm Sean.
Sean,
nice
good to meet you guys.
Yeah, we really wanted to be here. We thought it'd be like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
I know, and that's a bummer. And I guess there's no overflow either?
I don't know. They just drove by and said that, there's no more capacity.
Where were you guys at in the line?
Oh, we were about...
We were right over there at the turn where they...
Bummer.
Yeah.
Bummer. Well, what were you looking forward to seeing here?
Donald Trump.
Trump,
Yeah. Donald Trump, maybe RFK.
Yeah, you heard that news?
Yeah, that'd be monumental. Yeah.
I know. I'm pretty excited about that. I think that's going to be a good pickup. All right, so we're just walking around, I guess. Shout out to those guys. Super cool, right? There were a bunch of people there who were wanting to see Trump. Now, as I made my way back around, you can see, like, this is where the line was coming from. And then so we ran into those 2 dudes. This was like the holding facility. So this is where the Turning Point guys were set up, and they were checking people in. And then this is the holding building. So the holding building was where people would just get in there and cool off, and then they would take them back outside, and it would wrap, I'm not even joking you, it wrapped all the way around this other end of the building. Now I'm walking out here, and the phone just died, okay? Just like I'm recording it mid-sentence, the phone shut off, and it said that it's too dang hot. It said it's overheating. I tried to turn it back on again, and the video just crapped out because that's how hot it was. My point in sharing that with you was, it was insane, okay? And it was full, right? They cut it off when it was full. There were like thousands of people outside, okay? These were the people inside, and there were thousands of people outside. It was crazy. So the energy was there, man. It was a lot. It was wild to see, right? So I'm bummed I didn't get in, but it was absolutely just wild to see what was going on. The energy in Arizona is crazy. So don't let anyone tell you differently. If there's, any worry, nervousness, or whatever, the energy's crazy. It's people as far as the eye can see coming out for Trump. I didn't see, maybe that was happening for Kamala, I don't know, but why'd they have to blank out the top rows if there's so much energy? So when they try to rig Arizona again, just take a look at what we just witnessed there. And I was there firsthand. I can share that with you. It was crazy. So inside the arena, we had one of the most epic intros, one of the most pivotal moments in an American campaign happened right here. Let's just remind ourselves what went down.
Very pleased to welcome a man who has been an incredible champion for so many of these values that we all share, and we've shared them for a long time. I don't think too many of you people have heard of him. He's very low-key. He's a very low-key person, but he's highly respected. He is a great person. I've known him for so long. For the past 16 months, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Yeah! Let's listen to that, baby. Woo! It was out of control. So if you were watching that last night, And it was just wild, right? There were hundreds of thousands of people watching this everywhere, all over the interwebs, and sparks were flying. It was amazing. And we're going to go through and we're going to listen to the Democrats very unhappy about it, blaming him like it doesn't matter. He's a fringe lunatic. Oh, he wants you to be healthy. What a psychopath. Here, take some more mifepristone. Shut up. All right, so it was a heck of an intro.
And he deserves it. He deserves it.
Let's go, baby.
For the past 16 months, Bobby has run an extraordinary campaign for President of the United States. I know, because he also went after me a couple of times. I didn't like it.
That's politics, you know. That's how it goes.
And I mean this sincerely. Had he been allowed to enter the Democrat primary, he would have easily beaten Joe Biden, but they wouldn't let him
Easily.
in. They put up rules. I've never seen rules like you had to have 65% of the vote in order to run, little things like that. His candidacy has inspired millions and millions of Americans, raised critical issues that have been too long ignored in this country, and brought together people from across the political spectrum in a positive campaign grounded in the American values of his father, Robert Kennedy, a great man, and his uncle, President John F. Kennedy. And I know that they are looking down right now, and they are very, very proud of Bobby. I'm proud of Bobby. You want to know the truth?
Very, very nice introduction. And Kennedy came out and he gave a nice talk. He was pretty quick. Kennedy was pretty short with his speech, just said a couple things about Trump and some of the decisions that he made, why he made those decisions. But there was more from him. He released this, and if you did not watch his full speech, I'd highly encourage it, because it was maybe the best speech of this political season that we've seen. I think probably, yes, was very, very good. I think it came from the heart. It exposed a lot of the truths, and the reason why it was so good is because it came from someone who's really been shoved out of the system in a way, right? Trump is a strong figure with the Trump brand and all of that, right? So it's easy for people to just say he's a bully or something like that, right? They make a caricature out of him and then ascribe to it whatever they want. Kennedy's a little bit of a different figure. He's got a different background. He's got a prior record as a Democrat, pretty through and through, pretty embedded in there in a way that Trump wasn't. And so for him to come out and say these things, it has it rhymes with what Trump says, but it's different. And the way he delivered it was just powerful. And I think that the Democrats are reeling from it. They're going to have a tough time answering this because it's true. It's actually the truth. Trump has been saying it. Our side's been saying this forever. And now we can see it's not just Trump complaining. There's actually a pattern here. The Democrats are these types of people. And it's going to create, I think, a snowball effect. In fact, Jill Stein is saying much the same. But here, Kennedy posted this. He says, the DNC waged continual legal lawfare against Trump and myself. And this has been not only in these 4 criminal prosecutions that we've been covering at length, but it's the civil cases. They changed the statutes in New York, the law in New York, to create the ability to sue Trump than they did. They've been going after his businesses. They tried to keep him off the ballot. They're prosecuting his deputies. They're prosecuting state officials. We believe that they hired a fake prosecutor. That's not a belief. That's what a federal judge said. They stole millions of dollars from the public treasury to do it. And there's good argument that if they've got moles in Kennedy's campaign, they've got moles and undercover people, right, who are causing problems for Trump in these other areas. And I got questions about the classified documents and stuff now, too. Now, because of what Kennedy is saying here. But it's not like this is new. They did this in 2016. They did it in 2020. They were waging lawfare back then. That's why we say the election was rigged. So Kennedy here is not just giving us confirmation on this small little window, like, oh, thanks, Kennedy, you're on the Trump train for the next 6 months or whatever, or, for the last 6 months up until now, for this last, half year. No, it's much more significant than that. We can relate this back all the way back to 2016 and all the way back to 2020, because it's the same Democrats, it's the same actors, it's the same Mark Elias, it's the same Reid Hoffman, it's the same monsters who are perverting America and weaponizing all of our institutions to secure their power against the people. And now we can use this as an explanation for what we've been seeing. And it confirms everything Trump has said.
The DNC waged continual legal warfare against both President Trump and myself. Then, when a predictably bungled debate performance precipitated the palace coup against President Biden, the same shadowy DNC operatives appointed his successor. Vice President Harris has not appeared in a single interview
Can't do
or
it.
an unscripted encounter with voters for 35 days.
Can't do it.
This is profoundly undemocratic.
Tick-tock,
How are people to
tick-tock.
choose when they don't know whom they are choosing? And how can this look to the rest of the world? My father and my uncle were always conscious of America's image abroad because of our nation's role as the template for democracy, the role model for democratic processes, and the leader of the free world. Instead of showing us her substance and character, the DNC and its media organs engineered a surge of popularity for Vice President Harris based upon, well, nothing.
Nothing.
No
Propaganda.
policies, no interviews, no debates, only smoke and mirrors and balloons in a highly
Balloons.
produced Chicago circus. How did the Democratic Party choose a candidate that has never done an interview or debate during the entire election cycle? We know the answers. They did it by weaponizing the government agencies.
Yep.
They did it by abandoning democracy. They did it by suing the opposition and by disenfranchising American voters. What most alarms me isn't how the Democratic Party conducts its internal affairs or runs its candidates. What alarms me is the resort to censorship and media control and the weaponization of the federal agencies.
And they have done that in spades. And we've covered it, chronicled it here basically every day for years now. And he has been the victim of this too. So has Trump. So has Jill Stein. So have many others. Jill Stein said, look, she's also running. Says, to all of you who supported RFK Jr., who want to fight, we welcome you with open arms. Says, we may disagree with RFK Jr. about many things, but he's right about how the Democratic Party uses lawfare and dirty tricks to suppress Democratic competition and voter choice. Yeah, no, they don't want voters to have any choices. They want you to just have their candidate. That's it. And the forms are filled out for you in some cases. The Dems preach about, quote, saving democracy, but in reality, they're working overtime to stamp it out. They're working to destroy it. Now, they always, saving democracy, you can just, saving Democrats. That's all it is. Saving Democrats, right? Or they say we have to protect our institutions. Just, substitute that out for Democrats. Protect Democrat institutions. Because they have control of them. Obviously, they want to protect them because they've used them to secure their power. So Dr. Jill Stein is making that known. Now, the Kennedy family, who nobody's ever really heard of, says, statement on Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s announcement today. This is from somebody named Rory. Let's see. She's an Oscar nominated, but I guess not Oscar winning. Emmy award winning. She got an Emmy, not an Oscar. Loser. Who continues to fight for social justice and human rights and advocates for climate change. Oh, gosh, climate action. All right, so here's what this one said. Says, all right, here's our statement. says, "We want an America filled with hope and bound together by a shared vision of a brighter future. A future defined by individual freedom." Unless it's COVID, I guess, or we're talking about the environment, then you just, turn off all your gasoline products or whatever. "Economic promise and national pride. We believe in Harrison Walls. Our brother Bobby's decision to endorse Trump today is a betrayal of the values that our father and our family hold most dear. It is a sad ending to a sad story." Signed by these Kennedy people. Kathleen Kennedy Townsend. She doesn't really count, does she? Courtney, because she's got, anyways. Courtney Kennedy, Carrie Kennedy, Chris Kennedy, and Rory Kennedy, who, as far as I know, have not done anything really consequential, especially this one, who couldn't even win an Oscar. Pathetic. All right, so she's out. They're all whining about this. Now, the media is saying that this could be a pretty big deal. Here is what Johnny Maga clipped for us over on CNN. Says that, numbers here kind of so good for Democrats. Could be a problem for us. This is, people kind of like Kennedy, and they might follow him.
First time. Today, RFK Jr. had suspended his campaign endorsing Trump. Kennedy telling reporters that Trump had asked him to, quote, enlist him in his administration. Now, the latest swing state polls show Kennedy with 5 or 6% of the vote. And so when you think about it overall, you may say, well, that's not a big deal. Actually, if that is the case in swing states, it is huge. It is everything. It is more than the margin between Harris and Trump in some of those same states.
Yeah. So that's pretty good. Yeah, CNN's recognizing that. And there will be a response to this, obviously. So there will be people wanting to take them out. RFK Jr., though, is going to be hitting the campaign trail. Oh, man. Kamala is not happy about that one.
Head there. And I will tell you, I was told that he is going to be on the campaign trail for Donald Trump and with Donald Trump in the coming weeks.
All right. Kristen Holmes, thanks.
All right. And, all right, Kristen Holmes, I guess. That kind of sucks for Kamala. All right. Trump is now going to work with RFK Jr., and we're going to get some information about some assassinations, which we've been waiting for, I don't know, 60 years now? How long has it been? Long time. Trump is going to establish, he made this announcement last night, an independent presidential commission that he says is going to feature RFK Jr., who had his father and uncle assassinated. Trump said he'll task the commission with releasing all of the remaining documents about the JFK assassination. CIA is on panic mode right now. They're all in their chat groups. Says they'll also conduct a rigorous review of the attack last month. He says, he lost his father and his uncle in service to our country, and Bobby himself has been subject to threats. And so, yeah, we don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but a presidential commission, and I'm down with that for sure. I think RFK Jr., yeah. He's already been out. There's been clips of him saying he thinks the CIA was basically responsible for this. So, and he knows about the shooting. There was somebody else who basically was responsible probably for the shooting, who was not the actual person who shot his father. Anyways, wild stuff. And this could be really, really consequential. Because our government exists largely because we allow it to, right? We, the people, are the sovereigns, as Judge Gorsuch, Supreme Court Justice says, confirmed for us recently. We, the people, are the sovereign entity of this, right? The government operates with the consent of the governed. And so if we start to learn that our government is killing our own elected leaders, well, that's a problem. Yeah, that doesn't seem like it's supposed to be that way. So that makes that illegitimate, and you start to have this problem where the people start to withdraw their consent. Maybe that should happen. So we'll see where this goes. I'm looking forward to Trump winning and then something happening on this for sure. But I also think I'd be happy with RFK Jr. in some higher position like CDC, FDA, even higher up, Health and Human Services. I'd be happy with him in that cabinet position on those issues. So that is a big development, obviously, and a lot of people are unhappy about this in the left wing sphere on this. In fact, here is one statement. Paul Joseph Watson grabbed this one, said that this was a clip from an article. It says he said that in his press conference, RFK, that he'd offered to work with Miss Harris, but Democrats shrugged off his announcement, says Donald Trump isn't earning an endorsement from RFK that's going to help build any support, said the Democrat called Mary Beth Cahill. She says Trump's inheriting the baggage of a failed fringe candidate. Good riddance, says DNC senior advisor Mary Beth Cahill. Did you hear that, RFK voters? Did you hear that? If there's any RFK, first of all, that's offensive. Failed fringe candidate. Well, that's what they say about everybody, basically. But that's what they say about Trump, even though he's got 100 million people who support him. But the point here is for those Democrat, let's say there's two camps, there's going to be two buckets of RFK voters. There's going to be RFK voters who go for Trump, and we welcome them with open arms. Come on over, man. We're glad to have you. We agree, I think, on a lot. And when RFK was going through his litany of reasons as to why he left, he's made many of the same points that we've made. We were quite surprised with this modern development of watching the Democrats become the war party. Kamala Harris came out and said, we're going to have the strongest military ever. She brought up Iran. She tried to play both sides of Israel and Gaza. That didn't really work out that well for her. We'll see if it materializes once the media covers up however they need to cover that up for her. But screaming about Ukraine and all that, massive war party, the misinformation party, the censorship party. And he went through the litany, the Ukraine party. And it's just been pretty insane to watch. Those all used to be their policies not that long ago. I remember coming up, listening to Dennis Kucinich on the stage, screaming about the Iraq war. Now, if you don't promote war, they call you a Putin sympathizer. It's like, what the heck? Where did these people come from? Oh, strange. So, yeah, the party has shifted pretty dramatically. And Mary Beth Cahill basically told everybody in that bucket of people who might go vote for Harris to shove it, to get the hell out of here. You fringe psychopath failures. And they believe that, okay? So don't vote for Harris if you're an RFK Jr. person. They hate you, man. They're not going to do anything for you. They think you're a fringe failure. Come on over to our side. Come here. Come in here. Come over here. Come here. Oh, that's better. Come on over here. We love you. Come here. We're going to make America great again with your help. Let's go. All right. So you can see they're unhappy about this. There was also this reaction. So you can see Mays clip this one at Mays Moore. Said CNN is in full attack mode today. They're coming out, bringing on the most nasty people they can to insult RFK. Who's one of the most nasty people that you can think of? You got it. Anna Navarro. Exactly. Well done. One of the tackiest things she says here is she starts to, go on a screed against RFK. Here it is.
I think this is one of the tackiest things I've seen in politics, and that's a very low bar.
Yeah, you're on The View. Yeah. Well, you're on The View. So, you see tacky stuff all the time. Like your whole existence, right? Isn't she on The View?
Because what we see is a Robert F. Kennedy Jr. who was basically bargaining to see who the highest bidder would be to get his endorsement, right? So what he's saying is that Donald Trump gave him a quid pro quo, is going to put him in his administration. Kamala Harris, rightly so, didn't give him the time of day. I think a campaign that's already wrestling with a label of weird, bringing in a guy who's had to deny that he ate a dog, who's told us he had a worm in his brain, and who stabbed a dead cub bear and then posted in Central Park.
Oh, man, they're so mad.
Talk about adding weird to weird.
Scott Jennings is with us.
Funny. Okay, so she goes down and just tries to, I guess, hit him with all of those things that are really irrelevant, kind of weird, personal, quirky things, right? That's why this is so irrelevant, because he's got some weird stories in his past or something. That's the argument, I guess. I think they're pretty upset. I think that they're coping hard right now. They realize this guy was on their team, and now they just lost a major player. And it's not even about that, right? You could say, well, maybe there's like a major player who comes over, but it's like regular politics. Like, for example, like Nikki Haley, right? We saw this big fracture with Nikki Haley. And, we welcome the Nikki Haley voters in. We don't give them as big of a hug as we'll give the RFK voters, but we still welcome. I mean, come on over here. It's fine. Like, we have to make up. But, it's different. People just recognize that she's kind of standard politics, okay? RFK was brave enough, let's say, and courageous enough to even break from his own party, right? He's kind of his own man. And so that brings with it some new credibility. It's not just standard politics as usual. It's kind of like the adult between the two political parties is siding with Trump and vindicating his most serious concerning complaints. The adult in the room, he's like, look, I'm kind of the senior adult in the room. But you're right, actually, Trump, you're right. So it's good to be on your team. So they come out and they hit him with some other stuff that he's already talked about and joked about. He's talked about the Central Park thing and a bunch of other stuff. So I think that they're just scrambling around and they're having a hard time with this. Now, I want to carry on because the question is, how is Kamala going to react to the RFK endorsement? How is the Democratic campaign going to shift? Are they concerned about it at all? Or are they just going to have Kamala continue to hide in the basement, keep the plan on track? We'll see. But Kamala was asked a question and she gave a pretty interesting answer here. She's walking to her airplane and she's almost stumped at this very simple question. What's next, Kamala? Ugh. Oh, gosh. Well, we're going to walk up those stairs, and as soon as we're done, we're going to sit in a chair. And I might even put on my seatbelt. Yeah. Wow, in the media. Wow! She's going to save us all. And then they come out. It looks just like a couple of actors, doesn't it? I mean, I swear it does. We're going to win. Yeah, we're going to win. All right, Doug. Yeah, good, Doug. Good, Doug. You got yours in. Good job, you two. All right. So, my gosh. Rough times ahead. Now, you see an interesting subtitle on this article from the Washington Post in the aftermath of the Kamala catastrophe. Says Democrats head into the weekend energized after their convention. I'm not sure about that. They say, they're calling the RFK thing another new wrinkle. It's a little bit of a wrinkle in your plan. Yeah, I'd say so. Says Democrats entered the weekend energized, and then they woke up to RFK Jr., baby. They say Harris was gaining momentum, but the race has not been predictable. It saw another new wrinkle on Friday after they threw Joe Biden out and tried to throw RFK out and Jill Stein out, suing them. Now they've got a new wrinkle. RFK Jr. said, all right, you know what? F you guys then. How about we come over here, we remain on the ballot. He's going to remain on the ballot, but take his name off the ballots in about 10 battleground states. Right? So I think RFK Jr. is not like out of the race. If there's a contingent election or something like that, he might still get some delegates somewhere and get some votes somewhere, but don't know that he'll win any states unless something happens. But the point is, he says, many months ago, I promised to the American people I would withdraw from the race if I became a spoiler, he said during a speech. In my heart, I no longer believe that I have a realistic path to victory. Then he made an appearance with Trump. Harris's campaign responded to Kennedy's announcement with a statement beckoning to any American out there who is tired of Trump and is looking for a new way forward. You've been in office for 4 years. Kennedy got a standing ovation, packed 20,000 seat arena, and there's, I don't know how many people were outside. Somebody could have to ballpark that, but many thousands more. Another 10,000 outside? I don't know. But the rest of Trump's speech emphasized his standard themes of immigration and crime, including false and misleading claims. He also accepted an endorsement from the Arizona Police Association. Now, they say he repeated his false claims that the election was stolen. It was. I mean, it was clearly stolen. They stole it from RFK. They stole it from Joe Biden. They stole it from Trump. So it's true. It gets truer by the day. Trump said, make sure they don't cheat here, Charlie. Charlie Kirk, shout out. Says we're doing great here. So Harris now has a new wrinkle, according to the Washington Post. All right. Now, there's more. We learned earlier this week that there was one Democrat SuperPac that was saying that their internal polling was not as hot as some of these other polls that we've been seeing floating around. And here was a report on MSNBC about this, where they're talking, and Joe Scarborough certainly sounds a little bit nervous out there.
SuperPAC associated with the Harris campaign has let it be known to some reporters that their internal polling is, in their words, a little less rosy than some of the public polling. Some other Democratic polling firms that I've talked to in the last couple of days say the same. They say the battleground states are virtually tied. In a lot of the public polls right now, we're seeing Harris up a few points, often within the margin of error. They're suggesting it's a little closer than that. And as we well know, polling's been pretty off the last couple of cycles and in favor of, on Election Day, Republicans being undercounted in the polls, therefore doing better on Election Day. Joe Biden was up by several more points in the polls they ended up winning by 4 years ago. So believe me, Democrats coming out of Chicago, they feel really good. The vice president is going to be on the road some next week, also beginning the debate prep. They feel like they have the wind at their back, but there's a lot of work ahead because this race is going to be decided most likely by a razor-thin margin, despite how flailing Trump seems to be at the moment.
It's going to be close. And Chris Matthews, I remember the Real Clear Politics average in 2020 in Michigan going into Election Day was Biden +9. There were polls that showed Biden winning Wisconsin by double digits. Of course, everybody thought that Hillary Clinton was going to win. I talked to her pollsters after they exit polls at 6:30, 6:45, and they said the question is whether we win 6 or 7 swing states. Everything's looking great for us tonight. Democrats have a reason to play scared, to play as they've all said, like we're 3 points behind, a field goal behind in the.
Yeah, so they're a little nervous, it sounds like, and they have a reason to be, because RFK is a big name and a big force, and he is now endorsing Trump. And Kamala is not doing much. She gives little canned speeches and doesn't appear in front of the media. They do their best to cover for her whenever they can, but people are noticing now, and every day that goes by, the worse it gets for Kamala, the better it gets for our side. And it's just kind of insane that they haven't just done something already, just to stop this clock counting. Every day, you heard RFK earlier in his speech. It's been 35 days, tomorrow 36. They're going to hit 40 days with no interviews? And then when they finally do an interview, everybody's going to be watching. Oh my gosh, it's Kamala's first interview. Then when she goofs it or makes it unbearable for most people to process, it's going to have a much worse impact for them. So they're just delaying the inevitable. But Bill Maher was even talking about this with Kaitlin Collins, and he makes a good point. He says, you know, Kaitlin, she's insulting you people. She's embarrassing you people. And a part of us thinks the Democrats just like that. They like to be told what to do, how to think, what to eat, where to go, you know, how to do everything, essentially. Then they claim that they just want freedom in their lives. Like, what are you talking about? You demand that everybody comply with your mandates and your dictates everywhere you go. And if they don't, you set up snitch lines for them, right? We want freedom of our body, unless we want to inject you with 35 things from Pfizer. So, okay. So the media also sits around and they just it's like they're being abused by Kamala, but they're in a delusion. It's like a weird syndrome where they say everything's fine and she doesn't need to talk to us, and we're happy that she's not talking to us. It's like, you can do better than her. You don't have to stay with Kamala. There's other candidates out there. You should just leave her. Okay? This is abusive. I don't know why you're tolerating this. You're better than this. Or maybe they're not. I don't know. But here's Kaitlin getting into it with Bill Maher. He says, this is pretty insulting to you. It's not like she hates you like Trump. At least Trump acknowledges you. Kamala won't even look at you. She thinks you're just pathetic and like you'll always be there lapping it up for her no matter what. Have some self-respect.
What do you think about the fact that Kamala doesn't talk to the press? In a way, I feel like it's more insulting than what Trump does. Now, Trump says you're the enemy of the people, which is pretty bad. But she's kind of saying I don't need you.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to you.
She doesn't.
You don't matter.
She does need them, but she knows that they have no self-respect so that they'll always be there.
You're not relevant anymore. To me, that's even worse than I hate you. It's like, I don't think about you.
I don't know if it's worse than denigrating the press on a daily basis, which is what Donald Trump did. I mean, I covered him in the White House every day as a correspondent. And, oftentimes to kind of, shake you if you were asking him a question, he would try to get into a personal argument with you or just deny or lie about, what you were asking about. And so I don't know if I would compare the two. I do think she should talk to the press. I think anyone who wants to have access to the nuclear codes should be willing to sit down and take questions. And we'd love to have her on the show.
Yeah. Oh.
I'd love to too, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
We'll see who gets her first.
Well, I think she'll do you before she does me, but stop.
I love this crowd.
You started it.
I paid her, actually.
But I mean,
all right, so that's pretty funny. Yeah. And see what I'm talking about? She'll even cover for it. She's even like, well, she's not as bad as Trump, though. He's like, yes, she's not even, she thinks you're so pathetic, she won't even acknowledge you. You're so loyal and abiding that she can treat you like dirt. Right? Like, but it's even worse than that. It's like, I don't even think about you. You're irrelevant. You're so meaningless to me. You'll always show up. At least Trump will give you something so that you can do your job. And you hold them accountable. At least there's some adversarial relationship there, which is actually what we want. I mean, we want the press to be adversarial with our government. The problem with the Trump media relationship is that the press is overly aggressive against Trump, right? Or let me say this. They could be as aggressive as they want against Trump. If they were as aggressive as they are with Trump, with the Democrats, fine. I'm fine. Go for it. Go hard. Go wild. Lie about them too. Make up a bunch of crap about all them. All right. Fine. Okay. But let's just have equal standards here. We don't need to have double standards where everybody is ganging up on Trump. And we even saw this, there's these media research reports and all the things that show us the positive coverage of Kamala is 84%. The negative coverage of Trump is 86%. And you say, well, why is that? If that was even, like legitimately, and we had people that held both sides accountable, I'd have nothing to complain about. Neither would Trump. But when they only attack him and make up fake news, if they made up fake news about the Democrats and we saw a bunch of stuff about Kamala coming out here about all this crap, like, well, okay, they're liars. Like we already know they're liars, but at least they're lying about both sides. Now they're just lying about one side. But again, she'll just lap it up because they're so ingrained in their ideology. And it's almost like they don't even recognize it. Bill's like, you're being abused, Kaitlin. Do something about it. Please move on. And here is another clip from MSNBC, right? The media, again, is just going to sit there. Is she going to talk to us ever? No, she's not. Stop asking us, okay? Just get in there and vote for her and tell your dumb viewers to vote for her too.
For her as presidential candidate. But when will she sit down with the media in a one-on-one capacity and answer our questions?
I think she'll sit down on her time. Look, as you mentioned, this was a truncated time frame. We have made sure that we were getting out, talking to voters. I think people forget just how short of a time frame it has been. We had a change at the top of the ticket. We elected a brand new.
We had a change. You guys threw Joe out. He said he was going to be there till the bitter end until you guys said, no, you're not.
Vice presidential nominee.
So don't act like you're a victim of circumstance. Oh, this all happened so fast.
Pick and Governor Walz. We had.
For her.
All right, so answer. She's not going to be doing anything. And the debate is coming up soon, right? So I think the debate is on the 10th. And if that is true, then she's going to have to get into debate prep here pretty soon. And if she's in debate prep, well, that means she can't sit down for interviews. And that's going to be a big problem for her, or maybe not if the media just accepts it. But the issue is she doesn't say much of anything. Even Dr. Jill Stein said this, running against her, said, Kamala's speech was a predictable parade of platitudes and jingoistic claptrap, which I can appreciate that characterization because it's true. Her call to make the U.S. military, quote, the most lethal fighting force in the world, right? Democrats are like, yes, more war for oil. We love it. Exemplifies the Democrats' repulsive strategy of trying to out-warmonger the Republicans, which we have a real problem with the Republicans on that too, right? I get so irritated with them for the exact same reasons. It's the first thing they do, right? Mike Johnson comes in, Speaker of the House. First thing he says, we're going to support Israel and Ukraine. We got, what, bro? What are you talking about? Right? It's the same nonsense. And then she comes out here and wants to double down on it. And the Democrats just love it. They love blood for oil, I guess. So we got more coming up. This is what Trump was saying about Kamala and her introduction at the DNC. And so this was pretty fun. We made the same comment. We were trying to count how many times she said, good evening. Good evening. Good evening. We counted, I think, 12. Here's what Trump said.
And she mentioned thank you about 50 times. Did you see the beginning? Thank you. 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 I said, what the hell is wrong with her?
I don't know.
But
Nobody
then she
knows.
recovered. She did much better. But she didn't tell anything. She didn't say anything. And
no, she didn't. Good evening. Hello. Good evening. Thank you. Good evening. Okay. Well, it's because most of her speech sounded like this, quite frankly, as she was talking. This is what people were visualizing during her DNC speech.
After decades in law enforcement, I know the importance of safety and security, especially at our border.
Definitely.
After decades in law
does.
enforcement.
She's excellent at it. And she knows how to prosecute people and stop bad things from happening. She's really good at it. She's doing great. And the speech where she promises a better future and a better vision for everybody, people aren't buying it because they see stuff like that happening. Now, what else is also interesting is that the Democrats, like most things, steal from you. They steal ideas. They steal your earned income and other things. They also are stealing the no tax on tips idea from Trump and from MAGA. Okay, Bad Hombre over on X posted this. He says, there's not a single original thought between these two. Okay, these are the Krasenstein brothers on X. Just the worst. And this is Brian and Ed, apparently. So they're now posting this. They're saying, wow, this is really going mainstream, right? Vote Kamala Harris for no tax on tips on your receipts. It's great. So first of all, everybody has already been writing this. So all of the people have already been writing, vote Trump. So it's going to look so pathetic. Like if you're a server and you start seeing vote Kamala Harris, no tax on tips, it's going to look so pathetic. You're going to be like, she's trying this now? Wait, what? She stole it, right? And these guys are just bizarre. It's just how they think the world works, that everybody can just, I guess it's communism of ideas, of political ideas too. Strange behavior from those two. Anyways, just wanted to share with you how desperate they're becoming now. They have no ideas. So they're promising servers that Trump's plan is now Kamala's plan. Great job. Good job, Democrats. Way to come up with a nice policy proposal. Now, this was a fun clip that we're sharing for posterity. Says that apparently Chuck Schumer was there, and he was a little sauced up. I think he might have a glass of wine there with him. Let's see what he says.
The importance of safety and security,
wait, we got to stop
especially
Kamala.
at our border.
Hold on. We got to stop that. She's still welcoming illegals in. Here, okay, quiet, Kamala. Let's pause the illegal immigration for 2 seconds so we can listen to drunk Schumer.
Understands, Walls understands your problems. Down payment for a house, $25,000. All the folks who can afford the monthly payment but can't afford the down payment, we're coming to help you.
You shouldn't have a house, probably. Like, you got to save up so you can make sure, that you can actually save up in case like your AC goes bad or like something breaks. You have to, come out of pocket. You don't want to like lose your home or be homeless. So the down payment's kind of like a necessary, hurdle to get through just to make sure, there are checks and balances in the markets, in other words. But they're going to pervert that. So drunk Schumer is going to give, I guess, illegal aliens that Kamala's welcoming in by the boatload, whatever the hell they want, including $25,000 towards a new home. So we have now other clips here. This one is fun. Gavin Newsom was out there yucking it up with these bros. And I first saw this clip, I think, from Glenn Greenwald. And he was pointing out that this is a strange behind the scenes sort of appearing inside of Gavin Newsom, which nobody should ever do. But he's sitting down with these, I think, Pod Save America bros. Yeah. And this bro was someone who was really super bro with Obama, wrote all the speeches and all the things. And here's Newsom now kind of yucking it up, saying that they are being told what to say about the Biden coup. Like it's a big joke that they threw Joe Biden out and replaced him with a fake candidate.
How are you feeling about the switch?
I mean, the switch. Now, we went through a very open process, and a very inclusive process. It was bottom up. I don't know if you know that. Yes, that's what I've been told to say.
Yes, it was.
That's what I've been told to say. And then he's like, yeah.
It was a blitz primary, I believe. That's what they called it.
It's a very, very fast blitz. Yes. I think it was a blink primary, so we call that.
A 30-minute convention. Between a tweet and another tweet.
It's amazing how it happened.
Yeah, it's been amazing. But
it has been amazing, right? And now Gavin catches himself. Listen,
what is amazing is how unified everybody is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's next level.
He catches himself. Oh, but we are unified. No, we definitely organized a coup to throw him out, but then we unified very quickly because we realized what we had done. And so that was Newsom over there, and I want to share, I have a couple fun clips that will hit up here on this lovely Saturday because these are some fun ones. But first, we want to celebrate a very happy anniversary to President Trump. 1 year ago today, my beautiful friends, we had the mugshot heard around the world. One of the more epic photos of all time. I mean, it's like going to go in the history books forever. Epic. Says, election interference, never surrender, DonaldJTrump.com. Remember when he posted that 1 year ago on the day, August 24th, 2023. Happy anniversary, Mr. President. Standing firm in the face of Fani Willis. This was her mugshot. Her case has now been put on hold, pending appeal, and her lover has been thrown off the case, probably hanging out with Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle in Belize now. Who knows? So happy anniversary to the president on 1 year since the political prosecution brought by political enemies in America. We salute you, sir. We also had this one. Now, I've got two fun clips here. This one was from the DNC. And if you haven't watched this, it's 20 minutes. We're going to play a little bit of it because it's just perfect. And I'm going to retweet this, repost this. Sorry, Elon, don't ban me. And he's also on YouTube. Okay, so you can search for this guy. He's on YouTube. His X handle is called No Cap on God. And it's pretty funny. He says, Democratic National Convention is so brat. And we're going to learn what that means. We went to the 2024 DNC convention in Chicago, interviewing on the floor and covering the protests outside. So we'll drop the link to his YouTube in the chats and make sure you check him out because this is pretty damn incredible.
Would you rather have a democracy or access to abortions?
Either or. I feel like that's a very tough question to answer. I feel like that's almost not possible to answer. I feel like I couldn't pick one or the other.
Even if you had to choose?
If I had to choose,
Can we get a final answer? I know it's hard.
I guess access to abortions.
It's Brad Summer. The queen of the brats has arrived. Yes, queen.
Do not come.
Are you as hard as I am right now? She's something special. Can we please, this year, it'd be so brat, have a higher tax rate for rich white men?
Well, if we have a Democratic Congress, we certainly will.
Yeah, baby. Tax those rich old whiteys. Come on. Are you worried Donald Trump's going to weaponize the justice system if he gets in power?
I'm concerned about Project 2025.
Yeah.
And it's important that individuals understand that Project 2025 basically consolidates power in the hands of one dangerous man.
Yeah.
And so it's really critically
Start
important.
prosecuting his political enemies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Guys, I have to say, you are even more beautiful in person.
Oh, I love him. I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Give me your best pickup line.
My best pickup line. I'll pay.
Who are the cuties in the Democratic Party that are speaking?
Oh, I don't know. Talk to anyone who lives in D.C. It's hard to find a cute Democrat.
Oh my God, shots fired.
No, that's the tea. Ask anyone who lives in D.C.
I
and who
believe that.
works in Democratic politics.
Look at 'em.
It's hard to find the cute ones.
The Republican guys are hotter.
Yeah, but they're evil. So, I don't know.
We kind of love evil. Oh my God.
I feel like
You are so bad. It's time to call it the red carpet, the blue carpet, because the conservatives have literally no cool famous people. What do you eat after a long day at Congress?
Oh, man.
Did you get your vasectomy yet?
No, I'm not doing
Oh, it's
that.
going to be a wild weekend, baby. Tim Walz has the best shot in Congress. Who has the best back shot? One final game. Yes, queen or no queen. Okay.
I'll give you a yes or no. How about that?
Okay.
Amazing.
Can you do yes, queen or no queen? Or?
I can't do that. I can't
Oh,
do
really?
that.
Free abortions.
Yes, queen.
Free gender affirming care for migrants.
Yes, queen.
Child tax credits for dogs.
Yes, queen.
Ban standardized testing.
Yes, queen.
Oh, yeah, my ADD is so crazy. Get rid of those things, please.
Yes, queen. Yeah.
Amazing. Different tax rate for white men.
Yes, queen.
Yeah.
Amen, sister. Love you. Love her energy. She's a yes queener. My girlfriend needs to get an abortion. Can you help me cover it up?
My girlfriend needs to get an abortion. Can you help me with that? To Michael Cohen.
And standardized testing.
Yes, queen. Yeah.
Okay, one more time.
Different tax rate for white men.
Here's Michael Cohen.
Yes,
just
queen.
one more time.
Amen, sister. Love you. Love her energy. She's a yes queener. My girlfriend needs to get an abortion. Could you help me cover it up? Please? I need help. I need to do it discreet way.
He started laughing.
Asshole. Romeo, we're for out there, Romeo.
Oh my gosh.
Romeo, we're for out there, Romeo. Who do you think has a bigger lightsaber?
Oh.
Donald Trump or Joe Biden?
I mean, come on. Really?
And what's the best way a guy could approach you?
Approach me, I guess, with a microphone and a couple of a seersucker suit, a microphone, and my daughter.
Could I be a good stepdad? So some Gen Z.
All right, so you can see he just goes on and on. So we'll send you over there to watch the rest of his videos because, oh my gosh, pretty dang funny. So one more time, I'm going to drop the link to his channel in the chat. And he goes on for another 20 minutes. He goes outside. He hangs out with the protesters, and he's talking to everybody, and it's just great. So pretty funny. Certainly check that out, my friends. And we'll come back and subscribe to his channel. Of course, I have done that. So pretty funny stuff. All right. So my friends, it's been a beautiful Saturday. Thanks for joining us as we go through all of this. We covered some good ground today. We got a really monstrous endorsement from Kennedy. We welcome aboard our Kennedy friends. We're going to be making America great together again, brother and sister. Welcome aboard. We're excited for it. And it's going to be amazing. Now, let's see what you have to say about this, my friends. I see some amazing donos and super chats in the house. It's great to see everybody. So welcome aboard, brother. Welcome aboard. All right. It's good to have you guys. All right. So let's see who's here, my friends. We had some very, very nice donos. It's good to see everybody. Thanks for being here this morning. What's up, Carrie B? What's up, K Bean? K Bean's in the house clipping for us on the day. Sharing this one. Hey, what's up? Talia. Talia, the king's daughter, became a new membo. Great to have you, Talia. Welcome aboard. Our new YouTube membos. Great to have you. Let's see what else we got. We got JD Golf became a supporter. Welcome, JD. JD Golf, good to have you. You love boobs. Welcome. 1776. What a great name. You can't argue with anything in that name at all because it's true. Knox says, happy Saturday, all. I often see you all on Rumble and other platforms and reach out, but my moniker is always different. Okay, it's Miles Higher, Rita Book, etc. I even had a debit card under Alice Caholic. I suggest data poisoning for everyone. Miles Higher, Rita Book. I get it. Yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of those, right? There's authors like that. Like the book called Yellow River. You've read that one by I.P. Freely? Have you heard that one? Stuff like that. Yeah, good to see you, Knox. Hey, what's up, Matt Ostrander? New supporter in the house. Great to have you aboard, Matt. I think back aboard, right? I think you've been aboard. Great to have you back. We got Tasmanaut says, I was becoming frustrated at Trump's negativity since the attempt. He's a bit more cantankerous for some. I love his more human side. I think this endorsement and the moment on stage was huge for that. Yeah, that's an interesting comment, Tasmanaut. And I think maybe it's been like frustration. It's probably been some frustration we're sensing as a result of the switch. I would be frustrated too if you were fighting and preparing for somebody and then they swapped them out in the middle of the 5th round. Like this is rigged, because it is. But I agree. And did you see his Theo Von interview? It was 1 hour. I thought it was outstanding. If you missed that interview, add that to your list this weekend. It was very good. Dear Emily, what's up? Finally, a big spotlight on how USA is poisoning us all. Oh my gosh, yeah. And he is going to go hard at seed oils and all that stuff. I found this fun clip. So I posted this yesterday on X, but I was, X has these videos now where you can, like vertical videos, right? So I was watching this vertical video yesterday, and it automatically switches. So it's just like, the YouTube Shorts. It's kind of like TikTok, right? Or YouTube Shorts, but you can do it on X with the videos. If you watch a video, you can scroll up. And so it just automatically strings videos together for you. And I did a screen recording of this one yesterday. I was laughing my little caboose off yesterday. But here is what happened as I was just scrolling through some videos yesterday. It's RFK first, and then I want to show you what the algorithm served up next. And you'll see how it got strung together.
In America, 74% of Americans are now overweight or obese, and 50% of our children. 120 years ago, when somebody was obese, they were sent to the circus. They were literally, there were case reports done about them. Obesity was almost unknown.
Okay, so like that was organic, right? Like I didn't put those together. It just finished the 20-second video and it just played that one right next, right?
They were sent to the circus. They were literally, there were case reports done about them. Obesity was almost unknown.
Which, that guy's pretty damn impressive. I don't know if he's in the circus or not, but I just thought it was amazing. So, yeah. And RFK Jr., in all seriousness, he's going to be talking about that. I just thought it was just perfect. Perfect. The algorithm just hit spot on. All right. What's up, dear Emily? Hey, this one came out. Says, Sean Ryan is interviewing Trump. Oh, that's cool. Sean Ryan has a good channel. Says it airs Monday at 12:30. The reel he posted about it on his Instagram account is pretty cool. He talks about how nervous he is. He's even wearing a heck of a suit. I like Sean Ryan, man. He does good stuff. I think he did a really good interview with Trump's attorney. The name will come to me, but it was a really good interview. Trump's attorney, who was it? Tim? It wasn't Blanche. It was good. Anyways, it'll come to me, or maybe somebody knows who it was. But Glocky, what's up? Says, thank you for that. Dear Emily, thank you for this one. Glocky shared this one. Says, we have an army of celebrities, says the Democrats. Trump says, we have the Hulk. Parlatore, Tim Parlatore. That's it. Thank you. Golden Gaming. Yeah, Tim Parlatore. It was a good one with Sean Ryan. It was a good one. And Glocky, thanks for the meme. Hey, sweet potato. Says, all right, okay, sweet. All right, my friends, we're being called. Asking for prayers for my dad from our friend Sweet Potato, who's been around our community for a long time. Says he was just diagnosed with prostate cancer yesterday. He wasn't supposed to get the results until September 3rd, but doc told him after the biopsy they aren't taking or talking in terms of if it's cancer, but what kind. We're pretty devastated, but he's ready to fight. Thank you for all you do for the community here, Rob. We're all blessed to have you in our lives. Well, Sweet, we feel the same about you. Thank you for sharing this with us so that we can have an opportunity to send some love and some prayers your way. And so, my friends, I know there are many of us who are prayers out there. And if you are one of those and you have some extra, and we know you do, send a little bit over to Papa Sweet Potato because they've got a fight ahead and they'll need our support and they're going to get it. Some love and some support. We're praying for Papa Sweet Potato in the house. And we're glad that you're able to share this with us, Sweet, so that we can send this energy your way. So please keep us posted. We're going to be here for you and for your fam. And we're looking forward to supporting you through this. So my friends, prayers out to the Sweet Potato fam. Thank you, Sweet. We got this one from Spuds. Says the Big Lear tent party is coming to fruition. Coming in one after another. RFK is a big one. And we'll be looking forward to some more people recognizing how destructive the Democratic Party is. And I think RFK Jr. gives a lot of people cover, too. A lot of people who maybe weren't able to make, it's a tough decision to say, all right, I'm leaving you guys, I'm going to go on Team Trump. Maybe more people will come. It'll be like the first domino in a sequence of dominoes. We've got Crash in the house. Says, Rob, I dropped a comment. Here's a nice tip. Crash, thank you for that. Here's the comment. Crash wrote this. He says, Rob, and thank you, John, for clipping this for us. Says, Rob, as you know, I have openly stated in the chat at least 4 times over the last 7+ months, saying, quote, win or lose November 5th, the left will unleash the dogs on us. I know, it's Crash. We've seen it. We've talked about it a lot. And they've been great conversations, and we appreciate those conversations. We had a good one, I think, earlier this week. After RFK Jr.'s withdrawal and endorsement yesterday, I believe that they're going to empty the kennels. His actions yesterday constituted the very worst kind of betrayal for a Democrat. Oh, yeah, they're mad. His actions were insubordination. They were mutiny. Dare I say it? They were insurrection. Actions that will produce in them a knee-jerk response, tasting and smelling like the bile that we retch up after a weekend bender. Yeah, those were rough. We don't do those anymore here. But yeah, I know what you're saying, man. Bad stuff. And you're right. It was absolutely illegal for RFK Jr. to do what he did. I mean, I can't believe the Democrats have allowed this, that maybe they'll hire another fake prosecutor to prosecute him for something and put him in jail, raid his family. And I'm not joking about that. Like literally, he's got to consider that when he's making these decisions. Somebody will come after him because they did it to Trump. The same corrupt FBI, same corrupt DOJ. They're doing the same thing. And he and Shanahan and Jill Stein have all confirmed it. Okay, ask Bernie Sanders. At least Bernie Sanders. Okay, let me say it this way. Bernie Sanders got screwed, just like RFK did. But Bernie Sanders is a pathetic man. So he just took it like a good little Democrat and just ate it and got right back in line with the rest of the party. RFK Jr. didn't. I'm not taking this crap from you people. Guess who else didn't take that crap from the Republicans? Trump, right? That's why there's a mutual respect here, because they're both people who are trying to break the mold of their parties. and the Bernies, and same thing like with Nikki Haley, right? Like Nikki Haley would never turn her back on the Republican Party, ever. Trump got the same treatment that RFK got or was getting from the Republicans. They hated that dude. Mitch McConnell, the Romneys, all these people, right? If they would be on board with Trump the same way that the Democrats are on board with Kamala, it would be a landslide. You wouldn't even have any questions. We had so-called Republicans in Arizona managing our state elections that were Democrats. Okay, voting for Democrats, voting against Trump and their so-called Republicans and the courts, the list goes on and on, right? So if it was even remotely fair, this country would be red through and through. But it's now something that Trump doesn't hold exclusively to him, right? Someone else now can come out and say, I was victimized too. You know, not to use a sexual assault analogy here, but I'm going to. When there are sexual assault prosecutions, okay, when prosecutors are like, we think this dude is raping women, they look for more than one instance. Like literally, they'll say, okay, well, what happened? Okay, because if it's a he, unless it's obviously clear, right? But if it's a he said, she said situation, it's kind of a tough, again, unless it's like obvious, or there's admissions or witnesses or other things. But if it's a he said, she said thing, it's often, okay, well, you both were drunk and whatever, all right? So they'll investigate it and they'll take it very seriously, don't get me wrong. But when they have two, like if there's a report and then a year goes by, they get a report from some other woman or whatever, it's the same situation, they go, okay. Then they investigate it, they draw parallels between the two and they say, boom, you're getting prosecuted, right? Then charges come down 7 years later, 6 years later, 5 years later. It's kind of the same pattern here, right? Like the Democrats are saying, no, it's just Trump is saying that he got victimized. It's just Trump saying he got abused. He's a faker, right? This is all just nonsense. Then RFK comes out, he's like, they're trying to do it to me too. Everybody's like, oh, really? So they are actually like what we thought they are? Yeah, they are. Maybe that analogy is a little bit too much, but yeah, he's breaking the facade, Crash, right? He's showing them who they are. He's exposing the soft underbelly of the disgusting Democratic Party. And they're not happy about it. Thanks for the nice dono, Crash. Hey, V is never silent says Fauci claimed a $5 million windfall. His net worth went up. In breaking news, he's currently recovering from West Nile. Thanks, V. We got Zach Richardson says, hey, Rob, I was there in the same line around 1. I got sent home too. Ah, we were right there. I was hoping to run into you. I must have just barely missed you. Bummer. Man, yeah, I mean, that sucks, Zach. That would have been fun. Sorry I missed you. Yeah, we'll have to catch up at the next one then. And what I really realized, I'm like, man, there's a bunch of Arizona people here. It'd be really nice to start meeting some of these Arizona people so we could, make America great again together. That's what I was thinking. So that's cool, Zach. Yeah. And you saw the video. I was like walking to the end of the line. I might have walked right past you if you were standing in line. You might be in the video somewhere. I might have just missed you. What's up? Jeff says, left and right is a false paradigm. We have allowed to define parties and people. All that matters is liberty and truth, freedom and facts. I'm with you on that, Jeff. Yeah. I remember an earlier version of myself when I was in college, when I was really a freshman in college. I think that was 2004. Yeah, I was like, man, we just got attacked, 9/11, like George Bush, like Republican. And before that in grade school, I was kind of like a Democrat. I was like a little little communist when I was like young. I was like, why does Bill Gates have so much money? Although I still have concerns about Bill Gates. Even as a boy, I was like, there's something off with that dude. I didn't trust him even back then. But anyways, so yeah, it's true. And I think right now we spend a lot of time fighting over like fascism and what's communism. And these people are communists or socialists or fascists, or price gouging is a communist thing. And it's not really. And we can sit here and call them communists all the time because it's a nice label that just really symbolizes it. And really, I think communism is really a dirty ideology. It's really disgusting. And it results in dead people. And so we should treat communists with total contempt because they've resulted in hundreds of millions of dead and total death and destruction throughout the world. And repeatedly, like over and over and over again. Some of the most monstrous stuff happens under communism. And we don't want that at all. We want to live in a world better than that. So my point is, I think you can spend a lot of time in academia, right? The academics can get into it, but the point is, I'm for liberty and truth. I don't want Republicans stealing our money for Ukraine any more than I want the Democrats doing it. And I don't want Republicans censoring us any more than the Democrats. And the Republicans are to blame for a lot of this crap too, by the way. It's not like, Trump's been in charge for 4 years, or was in charge, and had the Republicans stabbing him in the back every which way you turned. So yeah, I'm a lot less interested in labels than I am about these principles. And if there was a Democrat, right, who was like if Trump was a Democrat and had delivered all this stuff to it, I think you might see people gravitate that way. Maybe not. Maybe that's too much. I don't know. The Democratic Party has really tarnished themselves. But that's the point, is they would never embrace something like that. If they did, we'd be living in an alternate reality. I mean, the party is so bad, even RFK left and got thrown out of it. Like, that's how far gone they are. So you can't, I think, analogize between the two, and one is just so far off a cliff. Anyways, great comment. Thanks, Jeff. Here's one from Techie's Life. What's up? Hi, Robert. Love from India. What's up? Man, that's so amazing. Thanks for tuning in from India. Blows my mind. I'm thinking about that. Like, it's so far. Followed you in 2020 before the elections. Back again for this election. Keep rocking. What's your expected Trump cabinet? Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, golly. Trump cabinet? I don't know. I like Elon as director of Doge for sure. Department of Government Evaporation. What was the E? I forget. Government evaporation, something like that. I honestly think that RFK Jr. would be great at Health and Human Services or some other agency underneath them, but I think even Health and Human Services would be fine. Secretary of State, gosh, I don't know. I think, oh gosh, I don't know. I'd like somebody anti-war. Is Tulsi anti-war? Maybe you could put her in there. I don't know. Could be interesting. She's got some foreign policy experience. I think she's pretty anti-war. Maybe something like that. She's pretty diplomatic. AG would be a pretty big position. I'll take that spot. I'm happy with that spot. So AG is pretty good. I think Vivek would be good in there. Somewhere, somewhere else. I don't know. But it's a great question. A lot of fun. I only need to be the AG for 5 minutes. I just want to go to the January 6th floor where all the January 6th prosecutors are working. That's it. 5 minutes. Then someone else can handle it. I just need 5 minutes. That's all. Hey, thanks for that comment, techies. That was fun. We got this one from Ollie. What's up, Ollie? Bringing in 5 new membos. Lenny Malley's coming in. Tom Harden, welcome. Melissa Millwood, what's up? Dead already. And Christine Exum in the house. Great to have you. Welcome aboard. Courtesy of Ollie. Thank you, Ollie. We got Waldo is bringing in Jeff Pearson. Welcome, Waldo. Thank you, Waldo, for bringing in Jeff Pearson. Ollie's bringing in 5 more. Thank you, Ollie. Look at this. Lou Landry's here. Andrea Alvarez, Gary Pearson, Rafael Valenzuela, and A Quest got a membership. Bobsco is bringing in Nakia Washington. Thank you, Bobsco, and welcome, Nakia. Bobsco, 2 months as a membo. Hey, 2 months, man. First month's the hardest. Gets easier from there. Says, you the man. Thanks. Sent you a new membo. Thank you, Bobsco. We appreciate it. And welcome. That's you, Nakia. Welcome aboard. Yeah, Bobsco. We got this one from Larry Smay. Says, the crowd at President Trump's rally is blue-collar Americans. Harris are elite millionaires hoping to suppress working Americans needed to do the actual work. The horror if they had to actually work. Yeah, and I think even Chris Cuomo made that point. He's like, it's kind of weird being here at the DNC where there are millionaires and billionaires lecturing themselves, I guess, about millionaires and billionaires. He's like, there's like these suites are like $1 million. Like there's corporate bigwigs all over the place. Right? Those people actually get richer. All of their solutions enrich them. That's why they want their solutions implemented. Sergeant GPS says, after watching the DNC convention and interviews with supporters, I was feeling a bit down watching the sheep with all the lies they spun. RFK's speech yesterday was uplifting. From Sergeant. Says, a team of Davids are being put together to take on Goliath. I love that, Sergeant. I was thinking of this same analogy in my mind. And honestly, I was thinking about that in the aftermath of the conversation we had yesterday with Crash about the timelines that we're on, right? If you look at the pattern and the trajectory that we're on, there's like a bunch of bad stuff that happened. Like these people are pulling out all the stops from indicting him to arresting him to mugshotting him, raiding his house with fake prosecutors to trying to shoot him and kill him. Okay, but he's still here. And then RFK came out and now endorsed him. So things feel like they're becoming more cohesive against the left. Trump's admin is going to be fired. Nice comment. Nice comment of optimism there, Sergeant. Thanks for that one. Voice of the People says, what's next? We're going to walk up those stairs. Talking down to the American people because she has the brain cells of an amoeba. Maybe like a baby amoeba. Not even a fully grown amoeba, right? Like a teenager, bad attitude amoeba. Ollie, what's up? One membo for K. What's up, Ollie? Thanks for bringing in K. And Queen Bee's Art Hive. We got some more prayers coming in for Lenny. Lenny, we don't know what the details are here, but we're going to be sending some good prayers for Lenny and your mama. Man, we love our mamas. And Queen Bee's Art Hive, thanks for shouting this out. We're going to send some prayers for Lenny and Mama Lenny. We love you, Lenny. Thanks for this, Queen Bees. Sending some good love to you, Lenny. Thanks for that. Ollie, what's up? Bringing in Betty, Ollie and Betty. Cliff Norman is here sharing this one, which I don't think is a real image, but it is a funny one. Says, Democrats shouldn't talk about anyone being weird. The party of the strange and unusual. They got drag queens. They're exposing themselves in front of children. They can't define women. Men get tampons and everything. And yeah, there's Booty with his breastfeeding. What's up? Lloyd Furness is in the house. What's up, Lloyd? Thank you for that one, Cliff. Lloyd is bringing in 20 membos. April Maid is here. Sandfreud. Nadine is in the house. We got Lacey Ann. What's up, B? John Lice. Space Cakes. What's up, Justin? And Miss Vicky May. All gifted membos, courtesy of Lloyd. What's up, Lloyd? Thanks for that, Lloyd. We appreciate that one. Yeah, it is a fun picture, that's for sure. What's up, Lloyd? We got this one. Hey, Lloyd is bringing in these membos. Here, we got April Maid, Sandfreud, Nadine, Lacey Ann, B, John Lice, Space Cakes, Justin, Miss Vicky May. We got Tree Climber, Jennifer, Good Spirits, Timothy Liskey, Lena, that guy, Rusty Banks, and Saffon, all gifted membos. We got Nicole Bama Princess, Robert Tucker, Sassy Tech, Mr. E, and many more coming in, courtesy of our friend Lloyd Furness. Thank you, Lloyd. Here's one from Tree Climber bringing in Nigem, 300-Yard Wink, LMC, MMI, and Jen Lynn in the house. Bringing in membos. Thank you, Tree Climber, with 5 new membos. NY says, okay, Bill Maher is close, but he's delusional. David Axelrod was commenting on speeches on CNN that he's contributed to. Many of these media types are advising the DNC. It isn't negligence. They are actively conspiring together. I think that's true. Yeah, there's an op. I mean, they're trying to sell everybody on a fake candidate. Ollie is bringing in Shelby. Well, thanks, Ollie, and welcome, Shelby. Rub some dirt on it. Says Charlie Kirk got the crowd numbers from the venue. Said Kamala is at 10,200. Trump was at 16,200. Yeah, the numbers were huge, and I don't have any idea how many people were outside, but I gotta imagine it was a ton. Glocky says tax-funded organization only promising homes to illegals. This group called Hacienda. Yeah, well, they've been through a lot. You know, it's a lot of work to break into the country illegally and travel thousands of miles to get here illegally. So they need your help. All right, Glocky. Maybe you should just give them your house. I'm just kidding. Ollie says, welcome, G. Ricketson. Welcome aboard, G. Ricketson. NY says, I love how the Michael Cohen is a felon, admitted liar, is a superstar in the Democrat Party. Good question. Question Everything says, did Cohen get his vasectomy? I'm not so sure he did. Maybe he did. I don't know, but if he does, then him and Stormy Daniels can have a love child. Leanne says, I have so much fun here. Thanks, watchers. Me too, Leanne. Thanks for being here. I do too. NY says, I would refer anyone who gets into the individual numbers on polls to Rasmussen Reports on X. Latest YouTube from him shows that Trump is actually up 3 to 5% across the board and that Harris peaked last week. What's up, Knox? Says, just wanted to thank all my fellow watchers. Says, this has been another crazy week, and it's so good to share with you all. Thank you, Knox. Yeah, it's our pleasure. Thank you for being here, hanging with us, for dropping the comments, for being so cool and being a part of it. It's been a weird week, yeah. DNC week. I'm glad the DNC is over because it was really sucking up a lot of the other attention from the other stories. So now we can get back to business. And now it's election season in full. So we'll see if the Democratic media finally does anything, gets their act together and holds Kamala accountable at all. But then we got debates coming up, and it's about to get hot, right? It's about to get spicy now, especially now with this endorsement. So it's great to be here with you, Knox. King Ginger says, member for 14 months, whew, that's a year and then some, says the future of America is bright and strong. Yeah, I agree. I think that it is. It is. It's also possibly not, right? We're kind of at a precipice here. We're on these two timelines, but I'm feeling this optimism in spite of all. It's like David versus Goliath, like Sargent just said. There's a lot of negative energy, but there's a positive energy. And we were talking about this on Locals. Trump didn't get his head blown off. Okay, that's a huge deal. We're in the timeline where Trump misses his head getting blown off by just a millimeter. So there's something to that. Don't know what exactly, but there's something to that. What's up? Ski Bro says, is there any estimate of how many millions of independents were on the Robert Kennedy Jr.'s ticket? So not that I've seen Ski Bro. I was actually waiting for some more analysis on this, but I think that it's going to be pretty light up until next week. So I know some people are doing some, political polling adjustments. And for example, Nate Silver is like reworking his models and all this with this factored in, but I haven't seen it. I think we're sort of looking at percentages in the polls. And if you just took RFK's percentage and tacked it on Trump's, what would that do with the number? Knox is here sending prayers over to Papa Sweet Potato, sending love and healing thoughts from Knox. Doubled up here many times over. Thank you, Knox, for sending those. Hey, what's up? Knox says, it's like 404B evidence. It shows a pattern of behavior. That's another good analogy too, yeah. Which is a rule of evidence, 404B. It shows a pattern. And what Trump said is mirrored by what Kennedy said. And what Kennedy said is mirrored by what Jill Stein said. Nicole Shanahan saying it. The Democratic Party is filled with cheaters and liars and bullies and saboteurs. And that's been a large part of our defense of Trump for the last 4 years here. NY says, I want to bring up something that Rasmussen is reporting. The Republicans were slated to take the Senate in 2024. It seems that someone is actively trying to throw the Republican Senate races, throw them. Almost all the races have the candidates under Trump's numbers. I think the Bush-McConnell Repubs are trying to deny Trump a Senate. That's a video from Rasmussen Reports. Looks like a good one. What's the handle for the guy trolling at the DNC? That's this guy right here. No cap on God. No cap on God. _ on X. Yeah, amazing. Hilarious. Trolling. Yeah, good to see you, Zach. Check him out. And the YouTube channel is the same, and I shared the YouTube channel links. Cliff Norman, what's up? Says, Kennedy family met Biden and endorsed him, playing a deceitful role of hiding the walking mummy's dementia. Yeah, they should be called on the carpet for lying and the nonsense that they're peddling now. It's shameful. Yeah, and again, it's like, come on, Kennedys. Like, it's obvious what is happening here. You guys are just Democrats. You're not even family. You're just Democrats through and through, no matter what. And it shows you how pernicious that ideology is. We saw this back during COVID too, right? People during COVID, you can't come to my wedding unless you're vaccinated. What? Right? Because they don't, it's I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a genetic something. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's pretty disgusting. Thank you for that, Cliff. Ellen Thompson, 3 months as a membo. Thank you, Ellen. Says, love all you do. Look into the HAV website, the HAVV website. What would I, Oh, the Social Security, HAVV transactions by state. That's interesting. Or how about this? Help America vote verification. Interesting. Interesting. Thank you, Ellen, for the suggestion. I've got it queued up. What's up? Iconic Meerkat says Salty C is coming in as a membo. Kathleen Hanover is coming in as a membo. We got P Power Slots, Kimmy, and Monica Labosh in the house. Brought in as membos, courtesy of Iconic Meerkat. Good to see you, Iconic. Hey, Former says, a long time ago I was a Democrat. I traveled to Washington to give my respects to JFK while he was lying in state and render a final salute to my commander-in-chief. Now, with that being said, the Democrats left me, not me leaving them. I truly believe that if JFK and RFK were alive today, they would be Republicans. Yeah, I think you're probably right about that. There's been a major flip. It's been pretty interesting to see. A lot of there were some things about the Democratic Party, the old Democratic Party, like and they were the weirdos back at the time. Like Kucinich was like far off at end of the stage. Remember that? But he would speak and I'd be like, well, I kind of agree with the free speech stuff, at least on that. Like there were some things like I kind of agree on that. Former says, thank you for that one, Former. Cliff says, Cliff Norman, do you believe the Kamala campaign is depending on the Merchan conviction hearing in September to finally take Trump out? Given the immunity decision, do you believe that Merchan will punt on the case? Yeah, I actually do. I don't think that they're going to, I don't think Kamala is planning on them taking him into custody to avoid a debate. Or something like that. And personally, I think if they took Trump into custody, that's the election. I think that's game over. So I don't know that they would do that. I even think that they might recognize that. Unless their ego and unless they think he's going to win and that's their only option, right? Take him into custody to play for keeps. Like they're taking him into custody and they're going to win the election and no one's going to take power. Like that would kind of be the end game. But I don't think that would ever actually happen because people would then go get Trump out and it's probably going to be the end of the country if that happened. Like literally. That's how precarious this is. Very simply, judge sentences Trump. He goes into custody. They say he's going in for 12 years. The people say, no, he's not. That's kind of the game, right? From there. It's like it could happen just with a couple strokes. Now, I don't think that they'll do that because I think that's the next obvious outcome. I think Trump would win the election even if he was in custody. And that's too much for them to bite off, if I had to be frank. So I think ultimately what he's going to do, and the prosecutor kind of gave him an out. I think we read this last week, maybe the week before, but Jack Smith kind of just beat out on this. I'm sorry. Bragg and Colangelo just kind of weenied out. And they really had no objection to Trump asking for a postponement. So all the judge has to do is postpone it. And then there may not be a sentencing coming up in September. So they're pretty screwed. Like they screwed it up. Merchan screwed it up badly. Trump made the objections on immunity while the case was pending with the Supreme Court, specifically about immunity. They introduced a bunch of immune evidence, and so they're just screwed. Hey, what's up from Tony Haight? Fruit Fly Sadist is coming in. What's up, Fruit Fly Sadist? We got Sherry Ferber, right fielder, Kelly Kivett, and David Hughes, gifted membos, courtesy of Tony Haymunkets in the house. Also bringing in Uncle Bob's Bees, Angry Viking Veteran, Martin Galliano, John Figueroa, and Lisa Jean Williams, gifted membos, courtesy of Tony Haymunkets in the house. Yeah, I mean, if they put Trump into custody and said, we're not letting him out, right? Like he's in custody. I don't know what happens from there. But the election, I don't think at that point anybody would find it to be valid, however it went. Right? Let's say they put him in custody in September, they keep him October, November for 60 days or so. First of all, do you think that would be allowed to happen? That he would just be sitting in custody? I don't think so. Not encouraging any political violence or any response, but I think there probably would be a response. And it would be, well, depending on what happens, there would be good arguments that it would be justified because the Supreme Court has already said that the case should have come down and had an evidentiary hearing, right? Like they'd be an open, in my opinion, open violation of the Supreme Court. So I think that there would be cause for a lot of things to happen. See where that would go. We're not hoping for that at all. We're hopeful that justice is done and that this corrupt judge just dismisses the case and sends Trump an apology, and the rest of us one too, and then waits patiently until he's prosecuted for a conspiracy against all of our rights. So good stuff, my friends. Let's say hello quickly to some friends on X. Then we're going to wrap it up and go on over to locals to hang out for a bit longer. And if you're a YouTube membo, we are streaming on Telegram. And so if you want to join us for the after party, we can have you come over and join us over there. I will post our Telegram link in our community YouTube members only section if you'd like to come and join us on Telegram for our YouTube membos for the after party. Let's see who's joining us on X here today. We got some comments. We do have a couple comments. What's up? Right to Think says, I just saw where you spotted Kinzinger at the DNC. Isn't he supposed to be a Republican? Yeah, that was a long time ago. Him and Cheney are constantly talking about democracy, but they're both secret Democrats, which means the J6 committee didn't even have anyone on their committee who is a Republican. That's true. That's all true. All absolutely true. And Gen X says, could we get some Alina Abba? We sure can. What's up? Holly says, Rob, since you're debriefing the events from yesterday, you should listen to this. It's less than a minute long. That's from another event in Chicago. The Kim Clement prophecy. Look, that looks interesting. Joel says, the rally really lifted my spirits. What's up, Joel? Yeah, it was a good one. And AZ Sunshine is saying the polls were never accurate because Kennedy, his name was not even an option, says AZ Sunshine. What's up, Victoria Myers? What's up, Cohen Levine? Wow. Cohen says, when we were in Arizona, we stood for 7 hours to get a seat. 7 hours. Yeah, and that was my point. So there were people there who were clearly there at 11. When I got there at 1, they didn't make it into the building. So you probably would have had to get there like in the morning, like bright and early in the morning if you wanted to get in. So you might have been waiting for 7 hours. Like, I don't know when they started admitting people, but there were people there camped out the entire night before, which is just wild that there's that much energy in Arizona. But that's exactly what we want, baby. All right. And so, my friends, we are going to wrap it up right there. We are going to go over to locals for our members only after party. And I'm going to repost the Telegram link for YouTube membos if you want to join us. That is now at the top of the community tab section. If you want to join us on Telegram, the after party, we'll be heading over there. So join us on Telegram if you want to join us. For membos, I just posted that. Locals, we're going to stick around here. My friends, it's been a heck of a Saturday stream. Thank you so much for joining us. I feel like the energy has changed pretty dramatically. A momentum shift is happening right now, and we're excited for it. So welcome aboard to our new RFK Jr. friends. We're very happy to have you here. Thank you for having some values and joining us as we're trying to battle back against these Kamala people. We're happy to have you here, my friends. It's been a great stream. I hope that your weekend is off to a beautiful start. You're doing something fun, relaxing, re-energizing, resuscitating after the DNC, whatever you need. We got to restore our IQ points after that big problem of a party. We had some late donos that came in. Okay, thank you for the heads up on this one, John. I almost was squeezing out of here. Let's see. Here we had this one from NY. Says, I agree. I think they actively pulled this internally. Trump in custody would not go well for the Democrats. I agree with that. I think it would be bad for them. Which is why I was kind of like, maybe they should try it. Let's see what happens. Isa, what's up, Isa? Became a supporter. Isa Al-Ghazi in the house. What's up, Isa? Thanks for being a supporter. Very nice to have you here. Hey, Sweet. Oh, you're the best, Sweet. Thanks for this dono. Says thank you all. Love. Thank you, Rob. There were a lot of prayers coming your way, Sweet. For you, your fam, for Papa Sweet Potato in the house. And, there's a lot of people here sending a lot of love and a lot of energy, and a lot of people here with experience too, and so you might be able to connect with somebody who can talk you through some of this stuff, because it's hard to go through it alone. So we're here for you if you need us, Sweet. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the dono. Sending love your way. V is Never Silent says, thanks again, Rob, for taking us to the Trump rally. Sorry we couldn't get in. It's kind of a bad host. I'm like, we're going to go to the Trump rally. Couldn't even get in. And then my phone died after 20 minutes. It's like so hot in Arizona. It was crazy. It's so hot. I look at my phone and it says it's overheating. So I touch it. I'm like, oh my gosh. It's like too hot to even touch. I'm like, just turn it back on. I got to finish this video. It's like, no, just do it. Play. No, it won't do it. It was so hot, but we made it. And you know what? Hey, Trump was standing out there at the border, okay? Standing out there at the southern border. It's hot as hell. Standing out there, giving speeches for hours, talking about how important this is. So, yeah, so, it's what we got to do to make America great again. And I wasn't even out there for long, okay? Shout out to all the other MAGA people who were there for like 6 hours. Or I think there were people probably there for, let's say, 3 to 4 hours that did not get in. Because there was one guy who was definitely there for 2 hours, and he was pretty far back in the line. Yeah. Anyways, it's a bummer we couldn't get in, but we're going to be voting, all of us, for sure. If there are people who are willing to sit out there in 107 degrees on pavement, which is like an oven, you're standing, I don't think people really realize this either. You're standing in a parking lot. Okay. This background here, it's like, I don't know how hot the ground is, right? It's like you're standing in an oven, basically. You're just standing on an oven that's just been, roasting all day. It's hot, but we can handle it. It's all good. It's Arizona, baby. We made it. We made it. But it was a great time, my friends, and I was really glad I got to go out there and at least get a vibe check. And I'll tell you, the vibe is strong, very strong. So it was a lot of fun. We were glad to meet some people out there. Shout out to all of our Arizona brothers and sisters who were there, everybody who made their way in. We're going to go back out again next time, baby. Be a little bit smarter about it next time, probably, hopefully. And it's going to be great. I'm happy that we've got this energy here afoot. It's a lot of fun. So we're going to leave it there, my friends. We're going to go over to Locals, watchingthewatchers.locals.com. Come and join us. Yeah, you've seen the videos. Like people will put a skillet out there and boil an egg. Or I think one time as kids, what we did is we put cookies on the dash. We've done all of that. We've cooked eggs. We've done cookies on the dash, hot dogs, stuff like that. We used to make solar ovens as boys, solar ovens, put a hot dog out there, solar oven, your hot dog, the whole thing. It's Arizona. It's hot here. It's Arizona. It's a dry heat. We like it. All right. So, my friends, it's been a beautiful Saturday. Thanks so much for joining us. I hope your weekend is just incredible and amazing. We are going to come back here on Monday to get into it again. And in order to do that, we're going to need to see you right back here so that together, with your help, we can shine that big, beautiful spotlight of accountability and transparency down upon our system with the hope of finding justice. Make it a beautiful and incredible weekend, my friends. I'll see you right back here on Monday. Bye-bye.